I really appreciate everyone for taking time to be part of today's meetup. So before we go on, I would like to do a brief introduction about what we are and what we do, and then I will then go on to um, pass on the other part of the event to the speaker who is already available here today. All right, so you can speak right now, but if you like to speak or join us, you have a button where you can be able to raise your hand and then you can be able to join us here. Or if you have any question, please feel free to use the question and answer um, button section feature to be able to ask your question. This recording will be available for everyone to watch after this event. So you can always go to our YouTube channel, just search for Mautic Meetup Lagos on YouTube. You'll be able to watch recordings of our past meetups also there. All right, so after today's event, please feel free to join the lounge where you can be able to interact with the speakers and other attendees if you need to talk to more people. So please feel free to use that area. We appreciate getting people to network and having to support each other. Good, good. So in case anyone is here joining us for the first time and is wondering what is Mautic and what is Mautic all about, so I will be able to share with you now that Mautic is a first open source marketing automation platform. It's self-hosted, so it means you can be able to host it your own, and although you can also use the hosted software as a version through Aqua, and it also helps you to have a personalized digital experience for whoever you are trying to reach out to. So through their customers journey. So you might be wondering, what can you use Mautic for? Mautic is email marketing automation. A lot of people see it as email marketing, but it's much more than just email marketing because it encompasses every other thing, including tracking, including landing pages, including building web forms, including dynamic content. That is interesting. You can also use it to score your consumers. You can also use it for account-based marketing. And you can use it for email marketing. You can use it for SMS marketing. You can use it for A/B testing. So there are a lot of things you can be able to use Mautic for. You can use it for social monitoring, which I just introduced. So these are things that can use Mautic for. So it's really a tool that can help you to get your business up and running, and something that can help you to be able to have a good way of interacting with your prospects and customers and whoever you are trying to reach out to. So it's open source, and we appreciate if anyone can be able to contribute. Really, we appreciate if you can be able to contribute to this because it's the contribution of everybody that's making this to go to keep this working. So we appreciate if anyone will be interested in being part of this by contributing. Right now, there is a sprint going on for Mautic 4 release and also for Mauticon. Please feel free to also join in on this sprint after this call today. All right, so you might be wondering, what team can I join? So each of these teams have their own different channels on Slack. So you can be able to reach out to the team leads, assistant team leads, and also be able to give ideas. And you can also go on Jira, pick up the tasks that you might be interested in. So if you need a Jira access, please send someone and send one of the admins on Slack a message, and they'll be able to send you a link where you can be able to join Jira. So Slack. In case you are wondering, how can you be able to get access to Slack? If you are not on Mautic Slack, just go to mautic.org/Slack. You'll be able to fill a form, and then you'll be able to allow you to be able to join the Slack channel for Mautic. All right, so join the Nigerian team. So we have our meetup page, which is probably where you were able to find RSVP for this event. So we post our monthly meetups there. So please enable notifications so that you can be able to get updates when we are having our next meetup. Join us on Slack too, Nigeria, and also please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can be able to watch previous recordings of our meetups. So in case you need help, feel free to go to the Mautic forum. We advise that you go to the Mautic forum in case you need help, not the Slack. You can post on forum, then come on Slack and share the link so that I can be able to get attention of people on Slack. Why do you need to post on the forum when you need help? It's because so that other people that have similar issues like in the future, it's easy for them to locate those responses that you are able to get, and it helps them to be able to also get to see these answers through search engine, so which is not available for Slack. So anyone can go on Google and search for that particular challenge you have, and then from Google it can take them down to the forum where they can be able to see the answers that you got. So posting on Slack will not allow us to be able to do that. So please, when you are posting when you need help or support, please go to the Mautic forum and post it there. Then you can now share the link on Slack so that you can be able to get attention quickly. And also, please feel free to also help people. So this is a community. If you have an answer to a question, please feel free to drop it in the reply section for that particular question. Also, you can learn more about Mautic and how you can use them. So you can go to kb.mautic.org for the knowledge base. We have also the developers resources. You can go to developers.mautic.org, and then non-official multicast by AK. So you can also listen to that. That is co-hosted by AK. All right, good. So you can also follow on social channels and on Facebook groups. There's Mautic community on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. So in case you're wondering how you'll be able to reach out to the people planning this. So my name is Oluwatobi Owolabi. So sorry, I didn't introduce myself earlier. So we have other colleagues, Victor, and then we have Favor. So we are all together planning this event monthly to make sure we be able to help others to be able to put their effort while they go through using Mautic. So please we are looking out for speakers. So if you're interested to speak at Mautic, please feel free to post me on Slack, or feel free to send me a personal message either on Facebook or on Twitter. I will appreciate it. We are looking out for speakers. So if you love to speak in our future events, so please feel free to reach out to me or any of the other speakers, and we appreciate to have you on board. Okay, good. So our next meetup is going to be May 29. It's going to still happen online, same time, 11 a.m. West African time. And we look forward to having you again on our next meetup. Good. So we are getting into today's meeting, and what we have next is going to be a presentation by the speaker, and that is Jozsef Keller. I'm so glad that Jozsef joined us. Even Jozsef have to do this within a very short period of time because our first speaker couldn't make it again. So Jozsef has to step in, and I'm so glad that he's able to do this for us this day. Jozsef, so happy to have you around. So at the end of his presentation, we have a update about Mautic. We have question and answers. Then we do a recap. Then please don't forget to go to lunch, and where you can be able to interact with the speakers and every other person. All right. So we have Jozsef. Jozsef is the CTO of Friendly Automate, and is also part of the Mautic management leadership team for product. And I'm so glad that we have him joining us today. Jozsef, welcome, and good morning from Nigeria.
Hello, good morning, Toby, and good morning to everyone. I see that the crowd is mostly consists of professionals in Mautic, so I hope you guys will also find this presentation useful. Probably you guys use a bunch of plugins yourself, so I'm really hoping that I will cover something what you don't use at the moment. When I created this presentation, it was originally for another purpose, but I customized it. And when Mohit seemed not to be able to do his presentation, then I was like, okay, let's talk about plugins. So let me share my screen. I will try to do some live stuff as well. So not just, pre-done things. First of all, because I didn't have enough time to do them anyway. You can also interact with me in the chat. So please just drop a line. Hey, how do you do this, or why, or I have a better idea. Just you can post it in the chat. If you use any of these plugins, which I'm going to show you here, and you have questions regarding to it, or you think I'm not showing one of the angles and how you use it, you want to talk about that, you can also raise your hand or drop message in the live chat. So these plugins I'm going to talk about, I have no affiliation with the creators, and some of them are not for free, some of them are for free, or there is free alternative, but they're very inexpensive, and I found them really, really useful for our daily activity. In fact, we have all these plugins pre-installed for our clients. So I see there are more Mautic hosting providers among the attendees, and I urge you to work with these plugins. And maybe if you want to contribute, you can easily modify these plugins, the open source ones, update them, and maybe create an easier to use product from it. Some of them, actually all of them, are a little bit developer focused. That means you need to do some kind of code to use those plugins, but I will show you what you can achieve with it if you didn't know so far. So my number 1 favorite is, actually number 3 favorite, is the Twig templates plugin from Zdenyo Kuzmin. It's $39. This is the most expensive plugin from all, but it's really, really good. And I'm going to show you what it can exactly do. So in general, imagine that you have a newsletter, and you have different interests among your subscribers, or different segment even, or different tags or custom fields saved in the contact profiles. And you want to create completely customized newsletters. With this plugin, you can take a block in your newsletter and say, okay, this should be visible only for this and this. It's very similar to the dynamic content, but you manage it not per email, but you can manage it in general from another menu. And I will show you in a moment how. You can also control what kind of outcome your logic will do. And you can also create like an advertisement block in your newsletter and always place the current advertisement into this Twig block. And when your campaign is running, only the current, this block will be visible for your clients. So if you have a campaign running, and this was a question, by the way, in the forum, if there's a campaign running for 1 year, depending on when someone subscribes, they're going through the campaign, and you change this advertisement block in your 20 emails what you send out, you can just do it in one place and it will be changed everywhere. So I did an example here, and that was one of my previous videos that you can find on the internet. I created a screenshot there. So if you, for example, you have a movie website, you can collect people's interest, and saying based on the interest they have, you can create certain block. So you just create one big newsletter, but this one is only visible for comedy lovers, this one for horror, this one for science fiction. So how is it done? It's very simple. You use Twig language. So you say if the contact movie comedy, like I actually saved this information for my user, is 1. I use the Boolean here. Then you show the HTML content. I'm gonna try to do a live demo how this would work. 1 second. I'm gonna try to share the other screen. This is how it looks. So you have these Twig templates plugin activated, and then I'm gonna open this movie newsletter window. I have the whole newsletter created here. All these blocks are visible, all 3 blocks, because this user is watching all movies. If you see, for example, Mr. Horror Comedy, for him only these, oops, looks like I have to reload this one too. I guess I did the wrong setup. Yeah, for sci-fi horror, it looks like this. So if I go now to my contacts, and I would be filtering for Joey, and I would look for my horror comedy guy, then simply in his profile, I have that he's interested in movie horror, movie comedy, and not interested in sci-fi. So why is this cool? This is cool because you don't need special, you don't need to create 100 newsletters. You just create one, and everybody will get the one according to their interest. And it's really easy to add here the code, and all the newsletter will be basically created. And I'm going to share now my other screen to keep up with the presentation. So the only thing what you have to do is is just to add one line, Twig template equals, and the number of the Twig template you are using. That's it. You can also manage contact tags and segments based on this template. Now, if you want to do an abandoned cart, you can use this format for that. So you just need to put the JSON into the abandoned cart custom field for your user, for your contact, and this code here will nicely list up all your abandoned cart ingredients, like content, what's in there. And by the way, all this code, what I'm showing here, will be put in a text file like a goodie bag, and I will share the link at the end of the presentation, so you can just download everything. If you already watched this, then you can find it on my website in the download section. Okay, so like I said, this is how the Twig template is called. Simply, I call this template. In the code, this is already the new code builder. Okay. Number 2. Are you guys still with me, or I'm just talking to my cats? Okay. Okay, great. So number 2, RSS to email plugin. It was already featured in the unofficial Mautic, or the official Mautic, the unofficial Mautic podcast. I don't know how to call it. And that's actually, for me, also the #1 source of information when I'm trying to get about news. If you're not listening to it, you should definitely upgrade because subscribe, because it's a great show. So there are 2 plugins here. I'm just going to show you one, the paid one. The free one is exactly the same. And in the goodie bag, you will find the link to that as well. What it does, it populates the blocks in your newsletter directly and creates an RSS feed. This is very often requested by our contacts, customers. So if you have also customers working with WooCommerce or WordPress, this makes their life a lot easier. And I'm going to show you different ways how to use it. So if you want to add your feed, then this is the code chunk basically you need to use. Yeah, I know, Ruth. Yeah. Hopefully, if you guys are watching, you cannot call yourself mauticapps.com, so just change it to something. So you just add the feed URL. For example, this is for my website. The feed is generated automatically from each WooCommerce. You don't even need a plugin for that. You can choose how many items you would like to have. Then you can add the link, some descriptions, and the image. It looks like this in the builder. So if you add, this is already the new builder. So if you are embedding it in the new builder, this is the block you see. You can add more blocks, but this one here will just feed upon the WordPress feed. This is how my newsletter, for example, would look like if I would use this option. Simply add the feed, how many items, and then customize it. There are different more options, really cool ones. For example, you can have you can set the count of how many feeds you would like to include, and you can also do it in the reverse order. Maybe if you have like news-related stuff, this is something interesting for you, and you can grab other information from your feed with these settings. There are a bunch of feed managers for WooCommerce and WordPress, and it's a great way to embed a little bit of code at the end of your newsletter and just show the new products. For example, this is how you are showing the certain category. And I here, as you can see, I especially modified this here, because if you can identify the interest of your contacts somehow, either based on products purchased before or website visited before, you can create a feed very easily just based on their interest. So they will see what you do. The point is that you try to be as customized as possible, which means, you know, you can find out the interest of your contact and then look for that product category. Okay, so going back to the third one, this is my favorite. It's for free. I think it's a hidden gem, and Daniel really hid it on his website. You can find it among the open source plugins. It's marvelously working with Mautic 3 as well, and it's for free. And I tell you why I use it for. So building personas is super important for our clients also. That means that if you want to show any content, you want to make sure that it's relevant. So if you have people in different stage of your journey, for example, someone who has not purchased anything, or it's a promoter, or it's a lost client, doesn't matter, you need to show the right content. Or you might want to show content which you know that it's relevant to your client, that you can show similar content in the future. That means you are targeting everything, newsletter, dynamic content, and so on. And there's different ways to do this. You can do it by creating a filter and then trying to understand what people look for. That's one thing. Or you can upload a list. But we face this issue with one of our clients is Gemos. It's a Latvian company. They have over 20,000 items from 200 suppliers. And imagine a store or stores where you walk in, and if you're a professional restaurant entrepreneur, or a bar person, or a bakery, or just a private person, you can find what you want, like a Metro in Western Europe, for example, or Makro in the other parts. So you can find everything there. Is it, you know, whole grain nuts? It's there. Is it a super expensive mixer equipment for a bar or an industrial ice maker? They have it. So how they can target the customers with relevant newsletters if they have 20,000 items at the same time, because their customers have such a different interest. And somewhat we can, you know, manage that by assigning it manually based on lists or previous purchases. But the easiest way is to understand their page visit habits. So in case of Gemos, as you can see, these main categories, like they have their own produced nuts, they have bar equipment, they have kitchen inventory, and by kitchen, I mean like for top chefs, not for average person. That too, but mostly for top chefs. And the different ingredients are grouped into these, so they leave a trace in the URL, that's the point. And that's what we're gonna work with. So the obvious would be, if the visited URL contains a bar equipment and the visited count is more than 20 times, then this person is interested for bar equipment. But the problem is that right now, these two are not connected. So it seems that it's and, but it's not like got the bar equipment 20 times. This is not what you're gonna get. What you're gonna get here, you will have people here who visited the URL with bar equipment at least once and visited 20 other URL. So this is not what we want. Because when someone goes to Gemos, they will visit like 30 different pages, or maybe even 100 while they find the right product. So Daniel made an SQL filter for that. And I don't know if I have it. Okay, so it works this way. You can set an SQL expression. In this case, for example, what I'm looking for is if anyone checked out a page which is URL contains knowledge base and did it more than 20 times. So I combine the two things together, and this is going to come up as a campaign condition. So I can base it in a campaign. For example, this is my website. Yeah, I'm looking for people who visited the knowledge base who showed interest in the cron jobs, so I would give them more tutorials on that, or someone who just in general likes tutorials. And I do that by running this query here and saying anyone check the website with tutorial in it more than 10 times, or knowledge base, and so on. And then in the conditions field, I will have a new condition, SQL conditions. And then I can just choose my pre-made condition like this. And when I do that, I can put it in a campaign and modify the tags. In another campaign, maybe I delete all the tags and rerun this thing again. But the point is that it's really easy to run this campaign, let's say, once a day, once a week, whatever, and all your database, including the one who are anonymous, can be re-evaluated in which group they belong to. And the thing is that here you can be absolute creative. If you want, you can add another table to your Mautic installation and say, just connect with the email addresses and say, okay, this person has purchased this. Then you can use this SQL filter for generating yes or no outcomes. And based on that, you can group people easily together. So you can build better personas, and you can communicate with them a lot better. And that comes back to my RSS feed. So how cool is that you combine these two things, or even the first one, the Twig, you can combine these things and really show interest-based contact information to your contacts. I think that's it. And the goodie bag is at joeykeller.com/goodiebag.txt. So you can find it there.
So which other ones will you recommend after these three? Or which other plugins do you use generally?
We install all three to our clients. So we give this this possibility. This one here, so this is, this one I think is the most powerful, but it's super hard to explain to a client that, hey, this is how SQL works. So we create these for them, and they just have to select here. So that's pretty cool. And you don't just have to use these fields. You can also have any other fields from the Mautic database, which is genius, actually. We have more and more questions regarding the RSS to email, because we feel that it's a nice addition at the end of the email to have a recommendation which is user specific. And I have a question here from Rafael regarding this here. So yeah, it does work in the new email builder. It looks like this. So it's not out of the box, like there is no graphical interface for that. You need to add this tag here, and your email will be automatically generated. I have actually here somewhere an example. I can show you how it looks when it's put together. I'm gonna try to share. And this is generated by this email here is generated from that content. It looks like this. And this is already the new email builder. I just saved the HTML.
We have some updates. So in case you want to watch videos about Mautic, please feel free to look at the Mautic YouTube channel. You can also watch the Mautic conference that happened last year. And another one is planned for June 16th and 17th. Please keep an eye. Update will be coming soon on how you can be able to register. Also, please feel free to join the Mautic release sprint. It started yesterday till tomorrow. Also, the Mauticon sprint 2 is on. So please feel free to join the product channel and the Mauticon channel on Slack. If you need an invite, just go to mautic.org/Slack. And also, please feel free to kindly share our future event. Tell others that might need to know about it. Please feel free to join us on our Mautic channel on Slack. Also join us by making sure you are part of the meetup.com web, so that you can be able to get updates of our next events. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, good. So thank you so much. In case you would like to speak at our next meetup or future one, please feel free to reach out to any of us, myself at Topsowo, Victor at Ihadiora Victor, and Favor Fakela 6. All right, so our next meetup is next month, May 29th. We look forward to having you around. So please feel free to join us at the lounge. We'll be looking forward to have you there. Thank you so much again for joining us today, Joseph. We really appreciate your time. Thank you, Julio. All right, please feel free to use the lounge, please.